Welcome back, everyone. As you probably guessed from the title of today's video, this is a suppressor that we are going over here today. This is from the folks over at Fletcher Rifle Works. It's their Texas flood suppressor. And basically, what is it? Well, it is a 3D printed suppressor. So that certainly is good with a lot of flow-through properties. And it is a licensed version of the OCL, I believe their Infinity suppressor. So if you guys are looking around on the internet for information on this suppressor, there's probably not going to be a ton of it. It's a relatively new offering. I've had this in for a few months now. We have several thousand rounds through it. And of course, we're going to put it on the decibel meter here in just a second because I do have one. For those who are new to the channel, they're cost prohibitive, but we did invest the $15,000 to pick one up. So we will be testing it on a couple different hosts here. But again, if you look at the Otter Creek's Lab can, it's going to be very similar with the exception, of course, of the materials. So the folks over at Fletcher Rifle Works wanted it to be lightweight. They absolutely did achieve that. This suppressor, as you see it here, is a 30 cal suppressor. Overall length is about 6.5 inches. The width on it is going to be 1 3/4 inches. So it's a little bit thicker than some suppressors out there, but that gives you good volume. And as you'll see here in just a second, that does pay off when we actually test it out there on the range. It is hub compatible, which certainly is nice. We've been using it here with this Reardon/Plan B type muzzle device. However, you can use whatever one you want. It does not come in their standard configuration anyway with the adapters. However, they do sell them on their website if you guys want to pick up whatever hub adapters you want to, whether you want to use chemo, etc. The list goes on, or just a direct thread hub. You can do that as well. And then additionally, it does come with 2 end caps. So we have the 5.56 one here that you guys see. And then of course we have the 30 cal one here on the end. They are vented, so it does help a little bit with this flash. Not a ton though. So for those of you guys who are new, one of the benefits, there's a ton of benefits of titanium suppressors, especially 3D printed ones like this. And one of the big ones, of course, is going to be weight. So this thing only weighs 10 ounces overall. But one of the cons is that titanium tends to spark a little bit. Now over time, it sparks less. There's no doubt about that. But it's always going to have a little bit more flash signature than something made out of like steel, for example. But of course, the penalty with steel is going to be weight. Additionally, one of the penalties, if you will, with titanium, in theory, is that they don't last as long. However, recently Brassfax did a video where he basically just torture tested a titanium suppressor to see if it would hold up. I recommend checking it out if you guys are weary about titanium suppressors, because he fired an absolutely unrealistic firing schedule for 99.9% of rifle shooters, and the can did just fine, as you guys will see if you watch his video. But titanium, there's pros and cons like anything else. One of the other, I guess, cons, if you will, if you are shooting under night vision, titanium cans tend to glow a little bit brighter than stainless steel cans, all things being equal, which of course they never are. But I'm a huge fan of titanium because I like good sound suppression rather, which titanium, especially 3D titanium, can give you. And I like lightweight. That's super important to me because at the end of your gun is the most important part of the system in terms of weight savings because of the physics of it, right? So your rifle is essentially, or pistol is essentially a lever, and out there on the end, every ounce matters more than it does back at the buttstock in terms of holding the rifle and not getting fatigued, if that makes sense. Other benefits of this suppressor is that hopefully I got a shot of it here. It's kind of hard to get on camera, but it has a couple different ways that the air actually circulates through the suppressor. It doesn't use traditional baffles in any way. So again, it is a true kind of low back pressure style design. It has ports that go in from the side of the can and then go around. And then it also has some that are a little bit more closer to the bore that do the exact same thing. And then additionally, the folks over at Fletcher Rifle Works also offer different end caps. So if you pull this end cap off, you'll see the vents on the inside there. And they offer different ones. Some of them are flow through that are have holes in it. In theory, that will give you a little bit less blowback into your action. That said, there's not a lot in there, as you guys will see here in just a second. When we go out to the range and test the decibel numbers, pay attention to the ejection pattern. You'll see it really doesn't change all that much. So even with the solid end caps like we have here, it's not all that much back pressure. So if you get the vented ones, which they offer rather, it's going to be even less. Additionally, the thread pattern that they have on here, again, is the same as the Infinity suppressor that Otter Creek uses. So that can offers a number of like muzzle brakes and things like that if you want to use it on a larger caliber. Speaking of that, there is no barrel length restrictions for this suppressor if you actually look online on their website. However, me personally, what I would do is kind of general guidance I would say for titanium suppressors is if you're using supersonic ammunition, try to keep it 11 to 12 inches or longer. And if you're using subsonics, 6 inches or longer, and you'll generally be safe for thousands of rounds with these types of suppressors. It is rated for all 30 cal, so 300 Win Mag, 300 RUM, and that's what I was getting at earlier, is that they do make, aftermarket companies I should say, do make muzzle brakes if you wanted to add it on there. Say you're shooting like a 300 Win Mag or something like that, that will help even more with recoil reduction. It's just a very versatile can. Again, you can set it up however you want because it's hub compatible, it's lightweight, different end caps, all of those sorts of things, as well as the 5.56 end cap that we talked about earlier. So again, we're going to head out to the range in just a second. I should note that when testing it on 5.56, I just left the 30 cal end cap on there just to see how it would do with the larger bore. So if we did actually swap the 5.56 out, it would be probably a couple decibels lower in terms of sound reduction, but I did want to test it out. You know, they're my videos. I make them how I want to. You guys may want the 5.56 end cap. You can do your own testing. And before we do that, before we head out to the range, we're going to test it again on a 5.56 rifle as well as this 300 Blackout pistol. And before we do that, we do need to thank the sponsor of today's video. And one of the benefits of course, suppressors is going to be the reduction in muzzle flash. Not as much with titanium, but at night that does make a difference. Other things that make a difference at night is the ability to see. So with that, let's check out today's sponsor and then head out to the range. These are the Dark Force NVBs by MCG Tactical. Compact and lightweight, they give you cutting-edge infrared night vision with full color 1080p on a 2.5-inch HD display. With 7 levels of adjustable infrared, you get perfect brightness whether it's a moonlit night or it's pitch black. Speaking of that, let's take a look at some of the footage I filmed out in my backyard when it was, in fact, pitch black with these.
I mean, it is pitch black out there, as you guys can see with the phone footage. And then that's what it looks like with the IR turned on. It's kind of crazy.
So if you want night vision on a budget, we have a great deal for you today. 90% off just for my audience with free shipping and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Visit mcgtac.com/GNGdark. Again, visit mcgtac.com/GNGdark for 90% off these night vision binoculars.
All right, everybody, time for science. We have the Aero Precision with the 16-inch barrel on there. Rounds are going to be M193 PMC, for those who are wondering. We have our actual tripod here, 1.6 meters off the ground. We have the B&K meter, 1 meter to the left. Unfortunately, I didn't bring my good tripod today, but regardless, the results will be the same. It'll just look a little crazy. And let me just double check that we are recording, and we are. All right, let's get our baseline first. All right, now we're going to throw the suppressor on there. Definitely got a little bit quieter as the oxygen got out of there, so that's kind of expected, but all of that under 140, I'll take it. Alrighty, everyone, we have everything set up to the mil spec standards, so we are 1.6 meters off the ground. The actual B&K meter, which is exorbitantly expensive, is 1 meter to the left of the muzzle. I think we are recording in there right now. We have some supersonic ammo, 125 grain Winchester, for those wondering. And we're going to put a few rounds downrange, establish a baseline, and then continue on with the suppressor testing. I think we are recording. We are... Oop, I don't know what that was. Don't know what that was. Let's keep going. All right, we have the baseline there with supersonics. Now what we're going to do here is switch it out with some subsonics next. Establish a baseline for that, then throw the suppressor on and just run them both back to back. So here we have some 220 grain subsonic ammunition. All right, now everything's going to stay the same. We're just going to throw the suppressor on there. All right, suppressor's on there. Once again, subsonic in there, and we'll see how she does. The guy next to me, shot was louder, and he's about 50 yards away. All right, great data there with the subs. Let's switch it out there for the supers. Honestly, that's pretty impressive, both supers and subs. Can is doing well.
At this point in the video, I think we've gone over all of the important things you need to know about this suppressor, whether or not you want to pick one up. As of when we're recording this, of course, we're a few months away from the $200 tax stamp being removed, so that certainly is a good thing. There's a number of companies selling this particular suppressor, and the folks at Fletcher Rifle Works, we should also note that the name of it, of course, being Texas Flood, they are donating part of the proceeds to victims of this summer's Texas flood, so I do dig that as well. But price point on this one is something we didn't talk about, and as you would imagine with a 3D printed flow-through type silencer, it's not super cheap. None of them are, at least not to the best of my knowledge, and this one right now is coming in MSRP right around 1,199 units of measure, whatever the units of measure are where you live. Of course, you can't say a price point on YouTube, but if you shop around, you may be able to find it for a little bit less than that. But looking at other suppressors that have similar feature sets, similar weight, similar volume, similar sound reduction, which honestly there's not a lot that are going to be in that category. Again, we've tested a number of 30 cal titanium cans here. Not a lot of them are going to compete with this sound suppression wise from the numbers that you guys just saw there, so it does very well in that regard. But it's priced similarly to most of its competitive options out there. I don't really think it's that crazy. And again, if you want the lightweight, if you want all of the things that this can offers, then maybe it's for you. If you don't, then maybe it's not for you. That's why we do the videos and let you guys pick. So with that, that's all that we have for you. If you guys like today's video and you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button, whether on YouTube or Rumble. If you've done that and you're not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel, then you are being censored by an algorithm. Easy way around that is to sign up for the email at the website here on your screen. This will get you put on 2 different email lists. Number one, the first one will go out once a month and it has all the videos since the previous month's email went out. So that way there's no big tech giant censoring your eyes for my content. Additionally, it'll get you put on the daily deals email. That email goes out every day, as the name indicates, and it typically has 8 to 10 of the best deals that we find around the internet, whether it be suppressors, mounts, optics, lights, upper receivers, lower receivers, firearms themselves, whatever the case may be. It typically has 8 to 10 of the best priced items in those categories every day, as well as a Pro 2A meme, but I've already done the price comparisons before putting the items into the daily deals email, so that way it usually saves you guys some time and some money. And lastly, we have an SMS service that you guys can sign up for by either texting the word gear to the number here on your screen, or you can head over to the website and do it the old-fashioned way and sign up for the SMS service. That goes out at most once a day, and it has typically 1 of 2 things in there, either a smoking deal that very likely will sell out, or it has a new video, and once again, we can get around the algorithm, and it's just text you guys the link to the video, so that way you guys can actually see it. What a concept. The algorithm could never comprehend actually seeing the content that you are subscribed to. So with that, guys, that's all I have for you. I should also note, lastly, the folks over there at Fletcher Rifle Works did send this out for the review, just full disclosure on that. And that's it. That's all I have. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.